Clark Radio, talking about the sports you do and don't know, both within and surrounding Baltimore. Don't ask him about preseason games, oh no, stuffing things in Griffin Basso. Despite it being on the internet, he can call it what he wants. So, Glenn Clark Radio, Glenn Clark Radio, Glenn Clark Radio. Duke sucks.
In the course of a season, struggling teams, it's often speculated that major changes will happen during the bye week. Are you worried about job security, or are you able to block that out?
Yeah, I'm able to block that out, man. I'm honestly not worried about it. I'm just focused on this Sunday. If you probably asked me last year, I probably would honestly tell you that it'd be something that would bother me or get to me. But I've grown closer in faith to God, honestly, and I know that He's in control, man. And everything that's going to happen is going to be written. It's already done. All I got to do is go out there and just continue to work day by day and put my best foot forward. And so I'm not really worried about, what happens. I'm just worried about finding a way to get a win on Sunday and stop a high-powered offense with LA coming in.
Of course, defensive coordinator Zach Orr. I appreciate that Bo Smolka asked the question. Obviously, it's something that a lot of us have been talking about for the last couple of weeks. Zach Orr says, I'm not worried about it, and he shouldn't be. That's not, right now you got to worry about trying to win a football game. That's the only thing you should be worried about.
Problem is the other teams have God, too.
Well, that is true.
Yeah.
There is that. It's always difficult when you're trying to figure out who God likes more.
God maybe should have gotten us a pass rusher.
That would have been
two.
good.
Yeah.
That would have been good if that would have been an option.
Follows it up with that.
So we'll see.
I used to call Jadeveon Clowney God.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know if I ever went that far. He was really
He
good.
looked like God at points.
He was a son of God.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Stan the Fan Charles is in studio with us, our chief grand poobah here on a Friday edition of the program. It is Glenn Clark Radio. I'm Glenn. He's Griffin. We've got a lot to do today. Coming up in a few minutes, DeMarco Farr, Rams color analyst, will be with us. We will preview Sunday's opponent. Speaking of the Rams, later in the program, we will catch you up with Rams running back Blake Corum, of course, a St. Francis alum. He's not technically from here. He's from, I think, Northern Virginia. But played his high school ball for Biff Poggi, and then I think he was there when Biff left. So I think he also played for Masai at St. Francis before he went to Michigan. We'll catch up with Blake Corum. And the Otter, the great Gregg Olson, will join us this morning. He's been working the MLB Playoffs for ESPN Radio. What do you?
Oh, just one of our post office.
Every
Drop
time
a mail off.
I get very worried sometimes when Griffin smiles at someone who walks in the door. Stan, one time.
Is it the police?
I don't think he'd be smiling. I think that might have elicited a completely different response. He might have ducked under the table had it been the police. No, one time, I think you just happened to not be here maybe on a Friday. And I look over, and Griffin's giggling as he looks over at somebody at the door. I'm like, what the hell's going on? Forrester had wandered in for no reason on a Friday. I was getting really nervous that might be the case today.
Oh, my God.
Because I don't have it in me. I just
don't have Forrester.
I don't have it in me.
Can't do 2 Drew days in a week?
Yeah, I can't do that. That's way too much. So that was what I was worried about.
No, he's hanging out. He just wanted to listen to us talk a little bit.
All right. Well, I mean, that's fine. I'm totally cool with that. We should do more live audience shows, frankly. I've always argued for that. Hello. What's your name, sir? Eric is here. Eric, thank you for your hard work.
Delivering the mail. Thank you for your service.
It is a thankless job. I appreciate the fact that you're here today. So, yeah.
What do they say about the postman? Neither rain nor snow.
Nor threat of Stan the Fan Charles will keep them from doing their job.
Something about that.
Something
yeah.
along those lines. Today's show is brought to you by Game Day Men's Health in Owings Mills, Frederick, and Columbia. I was, in fact, thank you to everybody who reached out or heard me this morning on either 98 Rock or WBAL. We were talking about it with my friends C4 and Brian Neiman. I was like, look, man, I got put onto this, and I straight shoot thought there was a chance that it was hooey. I really...
Like it was AI or something.
Or just kind of nonsense science or whatever. I was like, I don't know. And I still don't know exactly how it all works. I can't pretend like I'm the smartest man on the face of the planet. But what I know is these peptide proteins that I've been taking, I play tennis for hours on a Sunday night. And 2 years ago, I would wake up on Monday and I wouldn't be able to walk. And now I wake up on
Stop
Monday.
playing tennis and
Yeah,
you
exactly
wake
right.
up
Everything's
every
good.
Monday.
Yeah. No, now I wake up on Monday and I feel fine.
Who do
It
you
was-
play tennis with late Sunday nights?
John Proctor, who's a regular with us,
Okay.
plays tennis. Of course, the son of Mel Proctor. Not really, but that's what we go with. Who else plays with us? Our buddy Dan Samp, plays tennis with us.
And where do you play?
We play in Cockeysville.
Indoor
no,
and
no,
outdoors?
No.
Okay.
We probably have a couple more weeks in us
Well,
at this point.
You won't be playing in like January. And
We
late
have.
December.
I mean, if like you get one of those weird January days where it's only like in the 50s,
right.
like we'll do it.
Yeah.
Now we might
those
shift.
don't happen anymore.
We might shift from night. We play at night in the summer, and then sometimes when we get to when we shift to the mornings.
Right. When the
it's
sun's out.
correct.
Yeah.
So that might be the way that it works. but-
Less chance for criminal.
Exactly. Very
thing.
important.
Yeah.
No, but I saw John Proctor on Monday, and he was like, "Dude, how sore are you?" And I was like, funny thing about that is I actually feel fine.
Yeah.
That's what peptide
great.
proteins have done for me. 443-264-4454. That's the Owings Mills location. 443-266-3505 in Columbia. 240-931-3717 in Frederick. GameDayMen'sHealth.com. Complimentary testosterone test. If you're dealing with performance issues in the bedroom or if you're dealing with stubborn belly fat, they can help you out with that as well. All right. So the good news yesterday for the Ravens, Marlon Humphrey returns to practice. Gives him a chance of playing on Sunday. Patrick Card also returned to practice yesterday. The consensus on that,
Is he'll be held till the Bear game?
really tough for someone who hasn't played all season, hasn't practiced since August, to
Right.
get back on a Thursday and be ready to play a game on a Sunday. Now,
right.
Ricard is a veteran and someone who's been around for a long time, and I always, it's not impossible that the Ravens don't say, if you think you can go, we'll let you go.
Yeah.
But the consensus seems to be more likely that Pat Ricard would be back
For the
after
Bear.
the bye,
Yeah.
than it would be that he'd be able to play on Sunday. But Marlon Humphrey getting on the practice field yesterday, I think, goes a long way towards the chances of him playing on Sunday against the Rams. Add to that, good news yesterday, two guys that had practiced on Wednesday both bumped up to full participants yesterday, in Ronnie Stanley and Kyle Hamilton, which makes it seem very likely that they will be on the field on Sunday. The bad news, still no Lamar Jackson. Not
Yeah.
that we're surprised by that. Still no Roquan Smith. Not that we're surprised by that
Yeah.
either. And then still no Chidobe
Are they
Awuzie.
important?
I've
yeah.
heard those are guys
Those
that
are
you want
important
to
guys,
have
yeah.
on the field.
What do they do though? I
Yeah. I mean, like the Roquan, very important. The other guy,
He only touches the football every play.
weather does not look to be great at all this weekend. In fact, not just for the Ravens game, but like it's a shame because not everybody's home. Navy's playing at Temple, but it's kind of the
Same weather.
right?
yeah.
Like everybody that's playing in this area, the weather looks like Towson's home, Morgan's home,
Yeah, I have a
Stevenson's.
wedding I'm driving up to with my brother. We have a family wedding. We're going up to Egg Harbor
Oh yeah, sure.
on Saturday.
Okay, in New Jersey.
Yep.
Right.
And we were planning to drive back after,
Yeah.
so.
Yeah, the weather don't look great for the entirety of the weekend. Whether that benefits.
It's an indoor wedding.
Okay, well that's good. Good. You're not doing it Sunday night on the tennis
And the
court?
cars were indoors, too. It wasn't like we were walking the
Are
Jersey
you
Turnpike.
sure? Are you sure? Yeah. Look, does that benefit the Ravens? I don't know. They played in the rain against the Rams 2 years ago, and both teams scored 31 points in the fourth quarters before they went to overtime. So I don't know. There's a part of you that wants to believe that the rain would be beneficial because maybe it would limit the Rams' offense a little bit.
Muck it up a little bit. And
You know, it's like that old B.B. King song, if it wasn't for bad luck, I'd have no luck at all. But the Ravens, in the division they're in, now we don't know whether the Steelers are somehow going to be for real this year and win 12 games or not. I tend to think they're more of a 9 or 10 win team. So the Ravens still have a small shot to make the playoffs. It's not a great shot, but I will say this. They are very fortunate to have the bye coming when they do.
Yeah, the bye helps for sure. And the schedule does break a little bit after that, but as we pointed out, if the defense plays like this, it doesn't matter who's on the schedule.
Exactly.
They're giving up the most points of any team in the NFL. It's a weird spot, Stan, that we're in where what you just said, I've tried to say the right way. Here, I'll give you these two numbers. For example, 1-4 teams all time. 15 of them have made the playoffs. Teams that fall to 1-5, only 4 have made the playoffs all time. The most recent one being the 2020. Whatever.
But those
I think their football team is.
But those teams that have gone 1-5 have they had the bye?
Yeah, right after going to 1-5. You know, I didn't dive that deep into my research, Stan. I should have done that.
Should have taken an extra peptide.
Clearly. So in that way, like when you say it, does that make this a must-win game?
This is, we're all, look, you and I this week, we reacted to last week we both picked the Rams.
Sure did.
Minus 7.5 points over the Ravens. If somehow they get a win, this is where it could turn. Does it look like it's going to go that way? No, not at all.
It doesn't look that way. And I thought going into this stretch of 2 games at home, they needed to find a way to win one of them just for the vibes of it. But I also have to openly acknowledge, if you have Lamar Jackson, you are capable of winning 6-7 straight football games because he's capable of doing that.
Correct.
He's just capable of putting a team on his back and having a stretch of ball where he is nearly flawless and looks like an MVP of the league and wins games no matter what else is going on. You got to run the ball. You have to. In a weird way, it's more important to me on Sunday that the Ravens show they can run the ball again than even the result of the game. I don't actually mean that. Like, if they win the game somehow and they don't run the ball 3 times, that is better. I know it's better to win the game. But there's a part of me that just says, you have to show me that you are capable of running the football again. Because as much as we can talk about Lamar Jackson coming back and the impact he can make, they're not doing anything without running the football. The defense isn't good enough for them to survive not being able to have the ball a little bit more. They got to run the ball. So if they run the ball fairly well, they end up losing the game. I can't believe. I feel like I'm moving the goalpost to have this conversation. They lose this game the same at 31-28, something like that, but they run the ball. They look effective.
Right.
I'm going to walk out of it saying, yes, they're in a big hole, but if they get Lamar back, I think they have a chance.
There's a glimmer of hope.
There's a chance. Yeah. If they don't run the ball.
But what if the defense, suddenly,
Right.
they're moving, like the defense, slows down the Rams somehow?
Well, I mean, that's...
And yet they're not running the ball. Is that
more
more encouraging?
I get it because you'd say that's encouraging.
Yeah.
I don't think they can do one without the other.
Can you get in the locker room and talk to the team trainer? Maybe it's a peptide.
I hadn't thought about that, right? Get them
Get
all over
guys
the
on
game day. I mean, they're
testosterone.
right there in Owings Mills,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Just walk right down the street and get them in there to do that. I'm not giving up hope. If they lose, it's going to be a rough 2 weeks around here. That's all we have to talk about. There's no Orioles. There's no
there's Oriole action.
I
It's all behind the scenes.
imagine if the Orioles are the team that just goes ahead and hires their manager in the middle of the World Series when baseball doesn't want you to do that.
Right.
The Orioles are like, nah, forget it. We're the Orioles.
Now they could technically, not that I expect it, but they could technically do it before the World Series.
I don't remember baseball's opinion about. I know baseball definitely does not want you making major announcements during the World Series, because the idea was we don't want you taking attention away from the World Series. But and I hate to say this, like even the World Series has become kind of regionalized, right? Like I don't know how much conversation there is about the World Series in Cincinnati or Pittsburgh or Baltimore. So it might be the Major League Baseball maybe smarts up and says, hey, it would be good for you to keep, maybe by talking about baseball, by announcing your managerial hire, that gets people more interested in baseball, and maybe more people watch the World Series because of it. Yeah. Particularly, I mean, they still have L.A. in play, but I was going to say.
Well, I was going to say, like last year, you think it was just special since last year was the New York L.A.
Right. I don't know what that will look like this year. Speaking of hell's a way to lose a baseball game. My God, the Phillies.
Phillies should probably should probably fire Rob Thompson and Orioles hire him.
Oh yeah, you're good with that. I have some Philly friends in my life who were like, man, I was good with every move that Thompson made last night, right up until he pulled Luzardo, and I was like, I don't know, man. Like they got what they wanted, right? They got a ground ball right back to Kirkering.
Yep.
All you got to do.
I saw it the second he hit it. I said, "This is going to be a tough one to field." It had a lot of spin on it.
Yep.
But he panicked.
Yep, and that's what it was.
He panicked. He had to play at first base.
100% had to play at first base. Yeah. If you missed it, this is courtesy of TBS last night. It's tough to watch every time.
Yeah.
Every time.
Class move after the game. You saw him come in totally distraught, and Rob Thompson didn't just pat him on the chest. He pulled him aside and talked to him for a minute. He probably said, "You."
Yeah.
No, but he.
You mean he didn't do the full Jonathan Gannon? Is what you're suggesting?
He consoled him, and it was a classy move, and I'm sure it didn't help at the moment that much, but
that is tough, man. Yeah. You just feel, and I did appreciate also the way that who was doing the game for TBS last night.
Brian Anderson
and
was it
Frank Coor?
No, not Pierzynski.
Was it?
I thought there was.
Pierzynski's been doing the. He's been
on Fox, right? Yeah.
I think he's got tonight's game.
Was there a third person in the booth? Somebody, maybe it was Frank Coor. Maybe it was Frank Coor who just kept talking about, like, from a baseball standpoint, how you hate to see the game end
that way.
Like, and that's the. It's not they got it wrong. This is the way baseball works. People make mistakes. It's just
I think God was on their side.
Is that what it was?
Yeah.
They had a little more God?
Yeah.
As a fan of the sport, you just don't ever want that. You want it to be someone doing something memorable.
But that was memorable.
Yeah.
Just in the wrong way.
I hear you.
Yeah.
Like they're interviewing Pajes after the game, and I'm like, what?
Right.
About what?
Right. You hit a ball.
Yeah. Congratulations.
It was Lauren Shahadi was the third person, wasn't she?
She was on the field. I thought there might have been somebody else in the booth. But yeah, it probably just was Frank Coor. And yeah, you're just, okay, you made contact, I guess. You got lucky. I don't know. But ultimately, the Dodgers are on to the NLCS. They await the winner of what will be a Game 5 tomorrow night. So we get a Game 5 tonight in the American League. And then a Game 5 tomorrow night in the National League as the Cubs win both games in Chicago. They win last night, only allowing 3 hits to the Brewers. So that series goes back to Milwaukee for Game 5 tomorrow night. The winner of that one will get the Dodgers.
Who's starting for the Brewers tomorrow night?
I don't think they've announced pitchers for tomorrow yet because they went Peralta yesterday, which I think a lot of people were not expecting. I think a lot of people thought they were going to hold him
for
off
Game 5.
For a potential Game 5. So maybe that's sort of it's almost like a double curse.
I don't think they'll start Mizorowski, but I'm certain
Did he get in?
Gonna
I had to go to bed early last night. Did he get into the game at all?
No.
Then why wouldn't you start
I think
him?
he'll get into this game.
Why wouldn't you start him at this point?
I like him just the way they're using him because of his injuries. He's not really built up that well. I think he's more like a 3-inning guy right now.
Okay.
He was dominant in Game 2. He was just brilliant.
Oh, he was outstanding, no doubt. Yeah. And was hitting like 103, like just.
He was hitting 103 routinely.
Yeah, I mean, it was insane. Ugh. So, yeah, Game 5 in the American League in Seattle, Detroit tonight, and Game 5 in the National League, Chicago, Milwaukee tomorrow. Game 1 of the ALCS will be Sunday. Game 1 of the NLCS will be on Monday. And then the other story from last night, of course, just like we all saw coming, the Giants hammered the Eagles. We all had that.
Which of us had that game in our?
Yeah,
we're not allowed.
We're not allowed to pick because I think
Thursday game.
both of us would have leaned towards that game. Yeah, sure. Cam Scadaboo is going to be one of the most popular players in the NFL if the Giants are even remotely competitive the rest of the season. Cam Scadaboo will quickly become an absolute darling throughout the league.
It's crazy how running back evaluation goes, because it's everyone's this kid,
we all loved
him. Where was he?
And he was a consensus, he was a consensus 3rd, 4th round pick, no matter what.
But yet everybody that talked to him was like, that's a guy that I'd like my team to get. Every single one of us. Now I get it. He doesn't measure the same way that some guys measure, test wise. He doesn't. But everything about him,
you see, he pass blocks it's
football player.
Yeah.
Yes, that's all. He looks like he should be wearing a neck roll. He looks like he should be playing in 1993. And I know there's tones of that because he's white and the whole thing. But it's more like he just looks like a fullback. He looks like, but he's got all this speed. It's like a really speedy fullback. Cam Scadaboo is a freaking football player, man. And he's likable. Saw the bit after the game with he and Ryan Fitzpatrick taking their shirts off and celebrating. What
happened to that Giants team last week when I had them?
Hey, when you bought into them after they finally got a win.
Yeah.
When you said everything's turning up Giants now moving forward.
Well, against New Orleans.
Yeah.
They shit the bed against New Orleans and then beat Philly.
I understood your thought process. 34-17 last night. The Giants just beat the tar out of the Eagles. And, Jackson Dart continues to look the part, and Cam Scadaboo seriously continues to look the part as Week 6 got underway. Ravens will play the L.A. Rams in Week 6. That's Sunday, 1 o'clock here in Baltimore. And the Rams are, taking up residency here in town. They're going to be everywhere you look. You go out to dinner next week, you might bump into our next guest. He is the color analyst and a Super Bowl champion himself. The great DeMarco Farr is back with us now here on GCR. DeMarco, it's Glenn and Stan here in Baltimore. It's great to chat with you, man. Thank you for taking the time for us.
No worries. Where are we going to dinner?
You tell me.
What reservations
if you're here all week, I promise you, we will take you. You want to go out for crabs? We'll take you to the Costas Inn. That's a straight shoot. We'll do it.
I need a good vegan seafood joint. Is that possible? Do they have that?
I've never heard a more disgusting sentence in my life than Marco Farr. I love you. You've been good to us for years, and I cannot support the words that you just. And I, if that's your choice in life, God bless you. I'm sure it's working out very well for you and your health. But I
just want to see if you can make it.
Glenn's going to take you out for some peptides.
Yeah, we'll go.
Definitely.
Hey,
and you guys mentioned my favorite word of the day, Scadaboo.
Dude.
That sounds like either a weapon or a tool. Hey, go get me that Scadaboo.
Right, and he's proving to be both, obviously.
Yes.
He is.
I need to knock some people over. Give me that Scadaboo.
Man,
wow, what a game last night.
That guy is a football player, dude. It is.
Yes,
it is awesome to see him. All right, DeMarco, let's get into it. One of the things that we've been talking about a lot here is that obviously the Ravens are banged up. And what makes it worse is you're facing a Rams team with 3 extra days of rest and that maybe got a little bit of a wake-up call because of how things went against the 49ers. What happened in that game for a Rams team that was looking like that performance against the Colts was exactly what we thought the Rams were going to be coming into the season? And how are they going to be better than what it is that we saw against the 49ers 10 days ago?
Well, credit to the Niners. They came in banged up. Mac Jones played his butt off. I was trying to caution people all week because they were saying the same thing that they're saying about Baltimore right now. The Niners are missing so many people. Bosa's out, Kittle's out, all these guys are out. I kept saying they still have McCaffrey. McCaffrey is good enough to give you a football game. And if you turn the ball over, which the Rams did twice, you fumbled twice, 2 big fumbles, you can keep them around into the fourth quarter, and then you're in a dogfight. So that's what usually happens in a San Francisco, L.A. Rams type game, that rivalry. Something screwy always happens and usually falls in the Niners' favor. I would have to say the same thing happened, but I don't think the Rams took them lightly. Give the Niners credit. I thought they had a great game plan. They really took it to the Rams defense early. The Rams are having trouble covering people up. Kendrick Bourne had a great day, 140 yards. Who would have thought that? But once the Rams woke up on defense, I would say the second half of that game is more indicative of what I think this team is and can be. It's just the Niners caught them sleepwalking. That whole rivalry between Shanahan and Sean McVay is a real thing. So this is just another feather in the cap for the Niners. But I don't think anybody took the 49ers lightly, and they're definitely not going to look at Baltimore because they're all banged up and say this is a give-me win. Each and every week, you're going to have to earn that victory, especially going to Baltimore.
DeMarco, I was going to ask you that. How does that work for a team in the National Football League when they know a team is playing so poorly, collectively not to think that this is a walkover? I mean, look at the Eagles last night. At some point in their conscious mind, they must have thought, we're playing the Giants. This is a walkover.
You know, it's funny. Okay, so this was going back to Philadelphia, and this is why I love Sean McVay and how he put it into words on the coach's show. If you turn the tape off right before the blocked field goal, you would think the Rams won that game. Same thing in San Francisco. You didn't get the result that you wanted, but if you go back and watch that tape, and I really had to go hate watch it because it was such an emotional gut punch. But if you go back and look, there's so many good things that happen. And you can do that with just about any NFL team, regardless of score. If you go back and look, there's about you guys know, between 10 and 12 plays that decide games every weekend. But before that, they get paid, you get paid. There's some good players out there. So a good coach, a smart coach, will point out the things that you should be afraid of and not just overemphasize the bad parts, or they don't have this guy, or they can't do this. They're going to show you what they can do and how they try to get to it. If you let them get to it, if you let Baltimore hang around and keep Derrick Henry viable for 4 quarters, if you let him have touches in the fourth, you're in a dogfight, regardless of who is there, regardless if Lamar Jackson is there or not. So there are so many good things, regardless of what your record says you are, that teams can beat anybody on any given Sunday.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that.
Good
We
answer.
see it all the
Good
time.
answer.
DeMarco Farr is with us here on GCR. DeMarco, as far as the Rams are concerned, there's really so much to like, right? Like I think a lot of us were very high on the Rams coming into the season. What, if anything, has been a weakness or an inconsistency? To your point, kind of a couple of kind of fluky things away from potentially being 5-0 coming into this.
This is where there's no stat for this. You'd have to go back throughout history. You guys have covered football for a while. So here's the issue that the Rams face right now, and it's kind of a weird thing. Kyron Williams is one of your most important players. He's one of your best players. He is your fire plug. He is your thumper. He's the guy that gets practice started. He's the guy that would get the fight started in the club. He's that dude for that football team. And he's really, really good at what he does. He's great at protection. Matthew Stafford trusts him, carrying the football, throwing it to him, blocking for him. He just has a fumbling problem. He has an issue, and you hold your breath every time he carries the rock, and sometimes he puts it on the deck in key situations. And the backup, Blake Corum, is doing it now. He's going through that. So that's the only thing plaguing the Rams. If you can eliminate those turnovers, Kyron Williams scores against San Francisco, game over. We may not hear from the Niners for 10 years if he scores on that, but it gets knocked out. It is what it is. So that's where this team is. It's just you build you have so much, you put so much into this year, and turnovers or blocked field goals have kept you from being undefeated or kept teams in games and caused you to lose games. So it's just those little things, those little rifts that you have to work out. So to me, it's all on Sean McVay. You've got to find that stink in your kitchen and eliminate it. And then, you can go to sleep with a pine-smelling kitchen and feeling good about yourself. But until you figure that out, which is tough to do, it's going to be, like I said, hold your breath every Sunday.
This dude Puka Nacua, is he for real, man? Like this guy just
is he an AI?
Yeah,
invention?
right. Like what is? How is this guy? Like he's like he can't not catch the ball. All he does is just catch the ball every time.
That was his biggest improvement. I mean, this is funny. Going back to when Puka kind of burst onto the scene, and you ask people that went to college or watched him in college, if you weren't familiar with his game, they would say they're not surprised. That's what he always does. That's how he plays. He's an end around. He's kind of a gadget guy. You can also send him out on routes. He's a very physical receiver. If you look at Puka Nakua's headshot on the roster in the media guide, and you just look from the neck up, I swear you wouldn't know what position he played. If they put left tackle underneath that, you would buy it. That's how big he is. So you have a choice as a secondary. You're going to have to tackle him 12, 13, 14 times a game. If you're a corner or a small safety, that's a business decision. But where he's improved is his route running and his hands. Like you said, he has improved his catch radius. He is a viable threat in the red zone. And the Rams, Sean McVay and Matthew Stafford, have made a concerted effort to get him into the end zone. So that's been the difference. Can he keep up this physical style? We'll see. But as of right now, he is an absolute hammer. And he's the perfect complement to Davante Adams.
Yeah, that was a very stealth addition to bring in Davante Adams as well, who looks much more like himself than what we saw in New York. You brought up Blake Corum. He's actually going to be on with us a little bit later on. He's a St. Francis kid, not originally from Baltimore, but played high school ball here. I know what you said is true. Obviously, we all saw what happened in the 49ers game. It looks like he has all of the talent to be able to break through to at least be a really solid number 2. I know that there is a Kyron Williams there, so there's only going to be so many opportunities, but give me an idea of what Blake Corum has done, how he has developed since arriving in the NFL.
Oh, you can definitely see it, man. I mean, he is a starting caliber running back. And it's so funny. Right before he dropped the flip, the toss play, the play before that, he ran over a safety. I mean, absolutely trucked him. Like we talked about with Scatterboo, dropped the helmet, ran over the guy. So if I'm watching that from the sidelines, give him the pill again. He's going to put this in the end zone. So you can tell he wants to play. He wants to play more. He wants to be the guy. The problem is there's a guy in front of him. So you have to deal with that. You have to deal with being the understudy. So I think this is just my opinion watching. You have to deal with not trying to press. And just let the game come to you. Because when it does, and they're going to give you some run. They're going to give you a long runway. You're going to get the rock over and over and over again so you can show what you can do. You don't have to, hit home runs with every carry. So I think that might have been the issue. He took his eyes off the football and dropped it. If you do that in those games, you might not get another op. But they're going to come back to Blake Corum. They like Blake Corum. Everybody loves Blake Corum. There's a lot of juice there. At some point, I think he's going to be the guy. I think maybe someone needs to tell him that just to, let the game come to you, don't press.
DeMarco, from a defensive point of view of the Rams, how do they stop? I mean, are they a good run-stopping team? Because with no Lamar, clearly the Ravens want to control the football, especially the way we're playing defense. We want to take some time off the clock. Are they a good run-stuffing defense?
Yes, they have a surplus of interior defensive linemen that I think they're the best in football right now, in particular, the rotation. Poona Ford is as good as advertised. He has really upgraded that spot. He's about 6 feet tall, barely. And all he does is just tie up blocks and just wreak havoc. So he has been great for the Rams. Kobe Turner is the captain. He's the orchestrator. He's the conductor, as we call him. He is the double duty guy. He can get down and dirty, be nasty in the middle, and he can also straighten out and rush the passer on third downs. And then here's the name for you, Tyler Davis. They love him. He's the guy they bring in to pair with either Poona or Kobe Turner in the middle, just to mix it up, give you a different look, and he is an absolute run thug. And then don't forget Braden Fisk. Braden Fisk is the skill of the down lineman. He's the guy that can absolutely beat you up the field. So if you get caught in those third and long situations, he's going to be the one that wins in the middle. But this team functions off its edge rushers. Byron Young, old number 0, is playing at a Pro Bowl level, and Jared Verse has taken another step forward. Watching him go nose to nose with Trent Williams, one of the best in the business, and having Trent Williams get knocked on his back time and time again, this guy is every week's a coming out party. So they live and die with those edge guys, but the interior defensive lineman is what really stuffs the run. They corralled Saquon Barkley, did a good job on him. Jonathan Taylor, good job on him. Great job on McCaffrey running the football, especially in the second half. So Derrick Henry without Lamar Jackson, you'd have to think is a little bit easier to deal with, but it's still Derrick Henry. treat him as if he's the guy that can rush for 2,000 yards.
Before we let you go, DeMarco, I wondered if I could just draw a parallel. We, of course, associate you with the greatest show on the greatest show on turf Rams team, which we all know was a team that was putting up insane offensive production, and we don't necessarily think about what you guys were doing on the other side of the ball. And I wonder if there's something to be said for that in what we're dealing with in Baltimore right now, which is it feels like you don't need to be the vintage Ravens defense. It's, everybody in the national media, this isn't the Ravens defense of old. This isn't right, but that's not what they need to be. They just need to be better than what they are. Did you guys kind of have an understanding of, hey, you don't have to be the best defense in the world. We just need you to play a complementary team football? And do you feel like there's a parallel to what the Ravens maybe are going through right now?
Oh, wow. Parallel, no, I don't think so. I see where you're going. But most of that group, for the greatest show on turf on defense, most of that group has been together for 5 years. So we were a solid to good defense that we were playing with and beating some playoff teams. We just couldn't score.
Right.
So once we got Marshall, once we got this greatest show on turf, once we, started to build and score points, they surpassed us. So we just kept doing what we were doing, and then they just became the greatest show on turf. We were pretty good at stopping the run. We were pretty good at getting after the passer, and we were pretty good at taking away the football. We just couldn't pay it off with wins. Once we got Kurt Warner in the game, then it took off. But this is funny. You guys are on the radio, I do radio, and I kind of ran off at the mouth. And I said I would take my Super Bowl team over any Super Bowl team known to man. And I thought about the Baltimore Ravens. I'm like, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Let me restate that for a minute. I take them over anybody, but I would love to play them at least once to see what would happen.
All right,
I mean, you guys wouldn't have had a whole lot of trouble stopping that particular. I don't know. Jamal was really good that year. He was unbelievable.
We played you guys that. Yeah. We played you guys that first game. That was the
game
first
of the year.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was, my God, right? Wasn't that the Kurt Warner coming out party too?
It was the coming out party.
Yeah.
So I remember sitting on the bench and I kept hearing Ray Lewis on the tackle. Ray Lewis on the tackle. I'm like, is this dude a nose tackle? Who is this guy?
DeMarco, we are looking forward to having you guys here for the week. And seriously, let us know if it's, as long as it's not actually vegan seafood, because we religiously do not participate in that. But anything else, we will talk to you about.
Okay, you point me in the right direction. I'll give you a call as soon as we land. You tell me where to go. Because I'm meeting my oldest daughter there. So I need a place to go for dinner.
That's cool. Where does she live?
Well, she's actually coming back from Spain.
Oh, wow.
So she's going to meet me there for the game and then go back.
Oh, that's awesome.
Spain, yes.
That's really cool. DeMarco, appreciate you as always, man. Thanks for hopping on with us this morning. Safe travels, all right?
Got it, guys. Talk to you soon. All right.
DeMarco, Super Bowl champ with us. Griffin and I were talking about this yesterday, Stan. I have this weird obsession with sports being played in places where they're not supposed. I don't know how to explain this, right? Like when I find out there's a hockey game being played at a stadium or on a lake or something like that, I'm invested. I want to see it. And I am obsessed with wanting to see what Camden Yards looks like with the football field laid down. I am obsessed. And I assume that the Orioles will share out some social media content this week and show everybody at least what it looks like. They're obviously not playing a game there. It's just football practice. But I just want to see what it looks like. Yeah, talking about practice. I just want to see what it looks like. And I think a lot of people are hoping that maybe that leads to, like, there being a football game at Camden Yards at some point. And I don't know, maybe that'll happen one day. The fact that they're at least doing this maybe suggests that perhaps the Orioles are interested in seeing what it looks like with a football field laid down and considering exploring that possibility that, who knows? I said yesterday maybe like a Navy Air Force game, something like that might be a good fit at Camden Yards at some point. Everybody would say, well, why wouldn't you just play it in the football stadium?
How about a Ravens game?
I feel like they've got a home for those. I feel like they don't need somewhere to play those games.
Maybe they need a new home field advantage.
Is that what it is, the problem?
Yeah.
They're going to fix it that way. Yeah. Stan's here. We're going to talk some baseball when we come back in. The Otter, Gregg Olson, is going to join us next to talk about the playoffs as we continue along on a Friday edition of GCR.
For fans of the Costas Inn, and who isn't, I have some great news. Now there's a second location to go along with 4100 North Point Boulevard. This one is at the Timonium OTB. This is Stan the Fan, and I have been a fan of the Costas Inn and Triantafalo's family for going on 30 years. They're open for lunch and dinner, same great Costas feel, same great menu and quality food you've been enjoying for well over 50 years. The exact address on your GPS is 2200 York Road, and their phone number at the new location is 667-406-1975. If you're new to the Costas experience, get ready for a real treat. All wrapped up in a new spacious dining room in Timonium at the OTB. If you want steamed crabs, you have them, and the full menu at 4100 North Point Boulevard. The number for reservations there at Costas, 410-477-1975.
Gambling can be a fun and entertaining experience, but there are risks involved. If you're planning on betting on the game at the casino or on your phone or computer, know your limit, stay within it. Set a budget and a time to stop. Remember, gambling isn't a financial solution, and it doesn't mix well with alcohol or drugs. Know the risks and have a plan before you begin gambling. For free and confidential services, call 1-800-GAMBLER 24/7 or go to helpmygamblingproblem.org.
The latest edition of Press Box is available now. On the cover, Bo Smolko profiles Ravens running back Derrick Henry and how the football legend has proven to be a unicorn at the position with the success that he's found after the age of 30. Also inside, Brandon Schwartzberg looks at Kobe Mayo's push to find rhythm at the big league level. And we mark the start of the college football season by meeting players from all 4 FBS and FCS programs throughout the state. Press Box is available for free at over 500 locations throughout the region, including 60 Royal Farm stores. Or you can read the entire issue online at PressBoxOnline.com, where you can also find great betting advice and the best daily coverage of the Orioles, Ravens, and Terps.
Game day hits different with Live Casino's Big Plays, Big Pays hot seats. Head to Sports and Social on select Sundays and Mondays in October. We'll draw 10 hot seat winners every hour. When the home team scores, we'll double the prize pool. Plus, we'll give away $50 Sports and Social gift cards with every touchdown. Watch and win at Live Casino. At Arundel Mills, must be 21. Please play responsibly. For help, visit mdgamblinghelp.org or call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Feeling sluggish, unfocused, or not like yourself? It could be low testosterone. At Game Day Men's Health, we specialize in testosterone replacement therapy to help men boost energy, improve mood, and regain confidence. Our treatments, including testosterone cypionate, are safe, natural, and tailored to fit your lifestyle with weekly injections or pellet therapy. Get started today with a free testosterone test and feel the difference. GameDayMen'sHealth.com. Game Day Men's Health, where men reclaim their game.
Contrary to what some people believe, I actually like this guy when he sleeps. Glenn Clark, talking sports.
Back in here on GCR as we continue along on a Friday edition of the program. Stan the Fan Charles is in studio with us. Stan, you and Ross Grimsley and Luke Jackson will be talking baseball again this coming Monday, correct?
Talk it through the World Series.
Every Monday
Yep.
throughout the playoffs. You can find them, Facebook.com/PressBoxSports. If you miss it live, YouTube.com/PressBoxOnline or PressBoxOnline.com/video. And Stan, as always, your shows are brought to us by
the Costas Inn, now with 2 great locations. The original location out at 4100 North Point Boulevard. They've only been there for 54 years.
Oh, that's it?
Yeah. Yes. I don't know if they're going to make it there, but they've decided that they're they've opened a second location at Timonium Fairgrounds, high above the grandstand there, right next to the OTB, and they're serving the same great food. The only thing missing there is the steamed crabs, which you still get at 410-477-1975 to reserve your crabs.
And of course, everything else on the menu is wonderful. So you know, like it's the it's the Costas Inn we're talking about.
The only thing, I was told it's the same great menu.
Oh yeah, you're still the pork chop.
No pork chops.
Right?
No
that remains the issue. Stan is Stan Charles, and I feel like they should have listened to this by now and fixed this.
This
travesty.
This is terrible.
This cannot.
You know what it is? It's despicable.
It's despicable. It's ridiculous. It's
redunculous.
Trying to think of other things that Don King might have said when he was introducing. It's outrageous.
Only in America.
All of those things. Get this man his pork chop immediately. Make that happen.
They do have them at the North Point Boulevard.
Well, yeah, but I mean, they should be at both locations.
Yeah.
That's
I'm gonna
works.
talk to ownership there.
Right now, we're going to talk some baseball. Of course, there's going to be a Game 5 tonight between the Tigers and the Mariners. And our next guest has been a part of that series on ESPN Radio. He's been calling the games. He, of course, an Orioles legend. It's always a pleasure to welcome back the Otter himself, former Orioles closer, Mr. Gregg Olson, back with us on GCR. Greg, it's Glenn and Stan the Fan here in Baltimore. It's always great to catch up with you, man. Thank you for taking the time for us.
No problem. Nice to talk to you guys.
How you doing, Greg?
Doing good.
Good.
Doing good.
Good.
Just getting up from the back and forth East Coast, West Coast a couple days in a row here. So,
But
yeah.
You're getting a winner-take-all game with Tarek Skubal on the mound. Like that, I don't know how. I mean, I'm sure you're going to take the paycheck. Like, don't get me wrong, I would too. But, I mean, it almost feels like stealing money that that's how you get to spend a Friday night.
Oh, there's a lot worse things I could be doing now. No, I had Scooble last year for a Game 5 against Cleveland, and seems like I get the best pitcher on the planet for one of winner go home games every year. So all good by me.
That's not bad. Greg, can either of these teams win a World Series?
Honestly, I think Seattle probably could.
Okay.
They have the length in the lineup. Their bullpen's been good. If they can get Wu back, I mean that's three really good starters with Gilbert, Kirby, and Wu, and then and like I said, their lineup is long. It really is. After the trade deadline, where they got Suarez and Josh Naylor, it's a pretty good lineup.
Greg, I look at I think a lot of people have talked about the American League and have said the Blue Jays are the team that's maybe like the example of what the Orioles could be. And they went through disappointment a year ago, but then they made some really shrewd moves, and obviously they've had some pitching stuff that's worked out really well for them, including a dude that legitimately I had never heard of until a week ago who was shoving the New York Yankees. Do you see that, Greg? Like, do you see that the Blue Jays can be maybe kind of a model for it's possible that this could be the Orioles next year?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, you got to have some things work out. I honestly, I didn't have a problem with where the Orioles were headed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I don't think a lot of us expected this. Yeah.
No, this year was, I think, a blip. And you look at last year, all the injuries to the frontline starters. I thought they were doing just fine with what they were doing, and then this year just it didn't work out. But I don't know. I don't know what to say. The Blue Jays model, yeah, but I thought the Orioles were on track and just fine.
Greg, the Orioles are searching for a manager. We were looking over some things, and you crossed paths for a couple of years here in Baltimore with Bob Melvin. What did you think of Bob back then, and do you think he might be an interesting fit for the Orioles?
I think he'd be a good fit. Yeah, he very, very good at what he does. I was shocked that he got fired.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they sold it. Talking about San Francisco, sold at the deadline, and then leaves him with absolutely nothing, and he still gets them almost in the playoff hunt.
Yeah.
And they were in the playoff hunt, and then they fire him at the end of the year, and it's like that doesn't make any sense. Yeah, I think he'd be a good fit.
Stan and I have talked about the idea, Greg, that the Orioles' next manager needs to be someone with that type of cachet, and I think that's why Bob Melvin is. I have to admit, Greg, I spent some time in Arizona in the aughts, and I was there when Bob was there, and I am very enamored. I am personally a massive Bob Melvin fan, but whether it's him or not, given where they are and the step backwards they took, do you feel like they need that guy that's been around, that's done it, that will carry that like proverbial big stick to try to get this group to take that next step?
Well, it's hard to say. You sit there and you saw what, everybody obviously knows what happened with the Orioles. And I don't know. In all my years of playing, I'm trying to figure out what type of manager would be able to stop that from happening. And I don't. And so all the managers getting fired, it's ultimately my fault as a player. And it's the manager makes moves, in game and will affect, let's say 33% of the games just by his moves, bullpen moves, etc. But if guys aren't performing, there's nothing the manager can do. So I'm trying to figure out what type of manager, would be that guy that would, pick up and bolster the organization. And Meldon's been around. He's done it. I really don't think you need a first-time guy. I don't think that's going to be a good fit. So, yeah, I mean, it probably would be a Meldon, but it's just like I said, I don't. You just kind of look at the way everything went this year for the Orioles, and you're going, what manager would have been able to stop that or turn that around?
I want to ask you about one player in particular. There's no question in my mind that Mike Elias, if you injected some truth serum in him, he'd admit, I should have picked Bobby Witt over Adley Rutschman. But there was no indication that Adley Rutschman was suddenly going to become almost a non-factor offensively. I don't know how much Oriole baseball you get to see, but have you been able to see anything in his game to give you hope that the 280, 22, 24 homer, 80 RBI guy is still there?
Yeah, I think it's still there. I don't, I haven't watched his swing and broke down things and, see where he's at in the zone. But I don't think you don't just fall off the face of the earth, And so it's a hard life. It's a hard job. And so you start wondering, okay, is healthy and I've been watching all these starting pitchers during these playoffs and the difference year to year in their arm slots. And I'm just, why? And then you realize, how lucky you were to be able to consistently wake up after a couple months off and pick up where you left off. Like, Cal Ripken could always change his batting stance almost every year and defy anything that normally people do. And so you're going, okay, well, maybe he gets into the off season and takes a month off and then gets to work and tries to figure out, okay, what was the swing? Where were my hands at? All the little things of that, the couple of good years that he put together and see where everything's at in comparison and really go, backwards and not break everything, but look to see where things are different. You know what I'm saying? I know it's kind of long, windy story there, but, about Logan Gilbert's arm slot's down 10 degrees. I'm going, that can't be, you can't be functional. Everything should be different. And so just waking up in the off season and getting started again, things aren't going to be the same. So I'm sure there's somewhere that he can go back to and analyze and figure out where the swing's at.
Gregg Olson is with us on ESPN Radio tonight for Game 5 between the Mariners and the Tigers. Greg, admittedly, I am a self-described hater. Hate brings me joy, and so when the Yankees lost this week, it made me very happy. But I'm starting to worry. Look, man, everybody's got their thing, right? That's the way it goes. I'm starting to worry because I also enjoy hating the Dodgers now because it just feels like the California Yankees to me. But I am a little bit worried that we're just looking like, they didn't even get an RBI hit yesterday, and yet they figured out a way to win a game. When I look at them again, I say, this might be an exercise in futility. It just might be a parade to them winning the World Series again.
Well, I mean, they have flaws, so there's a chance that they might not get out of there. You might see them in the World Series against a really good Toronto team or Seattle or. I don't know what to tell you. I'm sorry. It's if everybody's willing to take the biggest paycheck in history and then defer it so you can get more guys. It's going to be a hard path.
I understand. It's not even that I'm mad at the guys who are doing it, right? Like, go get your money, man. It's just the rest of us are. Come on, like we want to root for our teams.
Oh yeah, no, I'm with you. It's going to be this way for a little while. I mean, if I was owner of the Dodgers, I'd do it, until Ohtani retires, and then I owe him the rest of that $740 million, and then I'd sell the team.
Yeah, sell the team. Exactly right. Let it be somebody else's problem.
That's your debt.
Hey, how do they attack Tarek Skubal tonight? Do you think he's going to have his A game tonight?
He certainly did the second game of this series.
Yeah.
He gave up 2 solo home runs to Polanco. Other than that, it was a whole lot of nothing and 12 strikeouts, I think. Last year, the game, same game against Cleveland, he ended up giving up a grand slam in the 5th to Lane Thomas, and that was the ball game on that side of it. So, I mean, I've seen him really good, and I've seen him where he's just a shade off, and everybody's on time. But I don't know how you game plan against him. I really don't. He moves the ball around in the zone. It's 99. It's got sink action. He's got a good breaking ball. Got a really good changeup. I don't know. It's just you hope Raleigh or Rodriguez run into something.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Conversely, what kind of game do you expect out of Kirby tonight?
Kirby was a lot better than I expected. But I mean, he's got great stuff. The Tigers struggle offensively. They found something to get this to a game 5, but he's going to be pounding the top of the zone. Nice breaking ball at the bottom of the zone. Just change his eye line. Good riding fastball that they're either going to have to get on top of or lay off. And the Tigers can lay off of it and get him in some advantageous counts. Then I think that they got a shot. But they what happened on Wednesday with their offense opening up the last 4 innings hasn't been seen. It hasn't been seen here. Yeah. I mean, their offense had. I think they were hitting 191 in the postseason this year, going into the 5th inning, and it was just looking like game's over. All you needed was a couple runs for Seattle, and they found a way. So I don't know. I don't know which Detroit offense is going to be here, and that would probably be the biggest question of the night.
Obviously, Kerry Carpenter, Javi Baez coming through in big ways in that one. Greg, I've told you this before, but every time I hear you on a broadcast, all I'm struck by is how freaking good you are at this, man. Well,
thank you.
You are just incredible doing game analysis, and we'd love to have you more in Baltimore, and I hope that works out, that it happens that way, but we'll continue to enjoy you. Is this it for you tonight, or is there more after this?
I'm done. I'm heading home for the off season.
Well, enjoy the time off, and of course, everybody can follow you. Greg's a great follow on Twitter as well. He makes his opinions about baseball subjects very well known at Gregg Olson 30.
Hey, Greg, I got one last question for you. I hope it doesn't get too long-winded, but Ben, when he's pointed out this new thing, and now I'm hearing it from all the announcers, this extension that pitchers have, It's not something I ever really thought of all the things, all these years I've been a baseball fan. But can you explain to the common fan out there how much more difficult it is by how far your release point is?
Well, you know what? My best example, everybody played Little League, right?
Yep.
Okay. So you remember that kid that was really tall early on?
Yep.
And kind of threw hard, but by the time that you felt like he had released the ball,
yep,
it looked like he was about 40 feet away from you, and you were terrified.
Yep.
That's basically my best way of.
That's a great way to
drawing out extension, because when I was 10, 11, we had a couple big dudes that were that threw hard in Little League, and it felt like they were throwing the ball about 3 feet away from the mitt.
Yep.
So that's the extension part of it. It's kind of interesting because this might hurt somebody's feelings out there, but all this stuff, the perceived velocity that comes from extension, and it's just so people that don't know what they're looking at can understand what I'm looking at. Is all this is. Well, I mean, you think about the expected batting average. Well, that's just basically, putting batting averages on swings, from the past 15 years of analytics. Expected slugs, same thing. It's just launch angles, exit velocities, trying to figure out if there wasn't an outfielder playing there, would that have been a hit? Well, the outfielders are playing there. They've been there for 155 years.
Right.
You don't get to do the
if there
fielder the fielder independent pitching. And I'm like, but you have fielders. Right. I mean, some of the stuff I like. Some of the stuff I probably would be just like a mad scientist tinkering with everything. But some of the stuff for the broadcasting, I'm just looking at going, if I have to explain it, it's not worth using.
I appreciate that. Greg, it's always great to catch you up, man. Thank you for taking the time for us. We really appreciate it.
My pleasure.
Thank you, Greg.
Nice talking to you guys.
The great Gregg Olson with us here on GCR. Bruce Raffle wanted me to say hello to you. He said, my 1993 O's Fantasy Camp champion pitcher on the Buccaneers.
That was me.
Grant
Jackson,
raving about your submarine offerings, raving about them.
You were a submarine fan?
Yeah, I was a submarine pitcher.
Nuh-uh.
Yeah.
No, you weren't.
Yeah.
Were you did you actually drag your knuckles? Like, was it a full submarine or more of a side-on?
No, it was pretty close to a full submarine. I grew up
in Washington.
I grew up in Washington, D.C., and the Senators back then in like the late 50s had this guy, Dick Hyde.
Mm-hmm.
And I was always amazed. And then Ted Abernathy was a big submariner. And then Kent Tekulve.
Yep.
So I kind of picked it up. I used to vary my style in Little League. I was not a submarine pitcher there. But I did a lot of like Louis Tiant faking. But when I got to fantasy camp, I had no arm left. I was 1992.
This is it. Yeah.
This was the only way. And Grant Jackson told me later in the week, he said, when I saw you the practice day and I saw that you were pitching submarine, I knew you wouldn't hurt your arm.
There you go.
So you'd pitch a lot. And I threw about 14 innings during the week, and I did not allow an earned run.
Damn.
Yeah.
Damn. Look at you.
And then in the championship
Stanley Ace over
here. The championship game, they had a sort of a jackass pitcher. He intentionally, we were in a nail-biting game in the championship, and he hit me.
Oh.
Wow.
I mean, it hit me hard, like on
your
left,
throwing arm.
on my left arm.
Oh.
And it pissed me off.
I don't blame you.
Yeah.
How old do you
threw
think?
the bat at him.
How old do you think he is today?
He's about 76.
You ready? You want to fist fight him?
Yeah,
You want us to organize
love to get at him.
Organize a fist fight.
Plunk him the next time up?
We won the championship.
Wow.
Nicely done. Griffin.
That's all I'm saying.
I mean,
yeah.
Like it sounds like you've won more championships than Lamar Jackson has.
Wow.
I don't know about that.
It just
he
sounds
probably
like
won some in
when he was
high
in
school.
youth. That's a good point. Speaking of Lamar Jackson, Griffin wants me to share this update from Jeff Zrebeck of The Athletic. Lamar Jackson not practicing again today, so that completely slams the door. Not that anybody really was holding out any hope, but that completely slams the door. Tez Walker not practicing today after he had been practicing the last 2 days. He had been last week. That was an issue, the oblique. So we'll see what that means for Sunday. And that's a weird. He says Roquan Smith, Chidobe Awuzie running on an adjacent field. I assume that means but I assume that means they're not really practicing, and they're both going to miss.
So between the two of them, what do they have? One good hamstring? Is that what's the? It
sort of suggests that's probably the case. But it also
can't we give both of Awuzie's hamstrings to, or give the one to?
If the real word there is that Marlon Humphrey's practicing again today, then it sounds really encouraging for his availability on Sunday. I'm still skeptical about Pat Ricard for Sunday, just again because this is his first practice in some time.
But would you take him or?
Look, I said this earlier today. If the Ravens trust Pat Ricard and Pat Ricard says I'm good,
if he says he's a go, then I don't have a problem with it.
Right. That's. Where
I don't
I'm
think
at.
He's gonna put himself in danger of missing the whole season.
And my gut tells me that this was prearranged. Like they said, hey man, why don't you get a little bit of practice in this week
and then go at it more.
That's my gut. But if they all get together and they all agree, like he's capable of doing it. This isn't a rookie that we're talking about. This is somebody who's been in the league for forever.
He watched some Camp Scadaboo highlights last night. Got fired
let
up.
me go. Let me at him. That might be the case. Today's show is also brought to you by the Maryland 5-Star. We are less than a week away. Next Thursday, the Maryland 5-Star is back at Fair Hill in Cecil County. You can get your tickets by going to Maryland 5-Star with a number 5, maryland5star.us. It's the 5th edition of the Maryland 5-Star. And as we always tell you, it's not just that it's the world-class sporting event. It's also just a celebration of the fall here in the state of Maryland. Corgi Cup, ponies, food and wine festival.
Great shopping.
Yeah, the shopping's outstanding. I know Stan will be up there. I've gotten up basically every year. I'm trying to figure out a time for me to.
I got a crazy schedule. The new paper comes out Thursday, which is usually my day to go out there. So I got to decide. So I've already told you off the air, but I won't be here next week because I'm probably going to go pick up papers, go out to there, do a few on the way home, and then Friday I got to.
I am hoping that I can get out there actually on Sunday, as we've talked about. But then I found out that my family's got plans, so I got to figure out how I'm going to make it out there to the Maryland 5-Star. But
you'll be missed.
I'm going to try still to get there. I'm going to try. I've been there every year. I haven't missed one yet, but this one's This one's a little bit more testing than other years that I've dealt with.
I might have to move closer.
I don't think they're going to do that. I
said
I
have to move closer.
Yeah, closer to Cecil County. That might be the case.
I may move to Cecil County.
Might be time for you.
Yeah.
Might be time to make that. Everybody up there, everybody that works the Maryland 5-Star stays at Great Wolf Lodge in Perryville. And they've never said like, "Hey Glenn, do you want a room for the weekend at Great Wolf Lodge?" Nobody's ever offered that to me, which my family would love.
The Big Cheese have that. That's Jeff Newman.
Yeah.
Terry Hazeltine. They don't go back and forth.
Everybody's up there doing.
It's like a vacation for them.
We'll come back in. We will wind things down for the day and for the week, and then Blake Corum of the Los Angeles Rams, St. Francis.
Are we having him live?
Let's talk. Let's talk during the break a little bit.
Jeez,
I gotta hash out some things. It's coming up. GCR.
Game day hits different with Live Casino's Big Plays, Big Pays hot seats. Head to Sports and Social on select Sundays and Mondays in October. We'll draw 10 hot seat winners every hour. When the home team scores, we'll double the prize pool. Plus, we'll give away $50 Sports and Social gift cards with every touchdown. Watch and win at Live Casino. At Arundel Mills, must be 21. Please play responsibly. For help, visit mdgamblinghelp.org or call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Feeling sluggish, unfocused, or not like yourself? It could be low testosterone. At Game Day Men's Health, we specialize in testosterone replacement therapy to help men boost energy, improve mood, and regain confidence. Our treatments, including testosterone cypionate, are safe, natural, and tailored to fit your lifestyle with weekly injections or pellet therapy. Get started today with a free testosterone test and feel the difference. GameDayMen'sHealth.com. Game Day Men's Health, where men reclaim their game.
For fans of the Costas Inn, and who isn't, I have some great news. Now there's a second location to go along with 4100 North Point Boulevard. This one is at the Timonium OTB. This is Stan the Fan, and I have been a fan of the Costas Inn and Triantafalo's family for going on 30 years. They're open for lunch and dinner, same great Costas feel, same great menu and quality food you've been enjoying for well over 50 years. The exact address on your GPS is 2200 York Road, and their phone number at the new location is 667-406-1975. If you're new to the Costas experience, get ready for a real treat. All wrapped up in a new spacious dining room in Timonium at the OTB. If you want steamed crabs, you have them, and the full menu at 4100 North Point Boulevard. The number for reservations there at Costas, 410-477-1975.
Gambling can be a fun and entertaining experience, but there are risks involved. If you're planning on betting on the game at the casino or on your phone or computer, know your limit, stay within it. Set a budget and a time to stop. Remember, gambling isn't a financial solution, and it doesn't mix well with alcohol or drugs. Know the risks and have a plan before you begin gambling. For free and confidential services, call 1-800-GAMBLER 24/7 or go to helpmygamblingproblem.org.
Looking for Baltimore's premier waterfront dining experience? Head to Nick's Fish House, located in the Baltimore Peninsula. Enjoy crabs all year long, plus happy hour Monday through Thursday from 3 to 6. Planning a celebration? From rehearsal dinners to corporate crab feasts, Nick's is the spot to make it unforgettable. And the fun doesn't stop there. Live music fills the air every Thursday through Sunday. Check out the full lineup at nicksfishhouse.com. Nick's, it's where Baltimore comes to eat, drink, and play by the water.
Make the most out of every day in your Toyota RAV4. Available in hybrid or gas-only models. A RAV4 can get you where you want to go in style. Check out buyatoyota.com for deals on new RAV4s from your local Toyota dealer today.
Coming back in here with Glenn and the other guy, Garrett, whatever his name is. You know who they are.
Back in here on GCR as we are winding down for a Friday edition of the program. Stan's headed off to Egg Harbor this weekend which is people don't know this. It's a harbor completely made out of eggs.
That's what it is.
Yeah,
exactly.
Okay. I love it when places names make sense.
You have to walk very carefully around the harbor.
100% because you can't.
You got to walk
run the risk
on eggshells.
On eggshells. It's crazy
That's
how
fun.
that works.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't know that. It's like Boston. People don't realize it's made completely out of beans. Nobody realizes until you go there. You're
That's
like,
why they call it. That's why they call it Beantown.
Yeah, it makes way
you
more
get to
sense.
certain points of Boston is made of chowder.
Well, yeah, okay.
Chowder.
Okay.
Well, it makes sense. That does make sense. Chicago, completely wind.
That's exactly right.
Just
Nothing else. Nothing. There's no buildings, actually. Like when they talk about the Hancock Tower, I think they've renamed all these buildings. Doesn't exist. It's just wind. That's all it is. Stan, you brought up there's going to be a new print issue of Press Box next week.
Yes, we've got, for the first time in our near 20 years, we've got Don Marcus penning
Longtime Baltimore Sun writer.
Penning a story on the new athletic director down at the University of Maryland.
Yeah, Jim Smith, who's the new athletic director, and Don's story dives not only into Jim's background and sort of a unique background that he brings to the role, but also the difficulty of the role itself and how the role has sort of evolved. So a really good story from Don about the Jim Smith era at the University of Maryland. Also, a lot of college hoops in this issue.
And Don is doing two stories. He's did the cover story on Jim Smith, and he's writing a column on Buzz Peterson.
Buzz Williams.
Get to talk to Buzz Williams.
It's all right. It's all right.
Tomato, you know.
Yeah, right. They're both coaches. You got that part correct.
Buzz Williams.
Yes.
The coach, Gary's brother.
Exactly right. Exactly right. And then you can meet players from all around the state inside this print issue that'll be available next week. And we'll be telling you next week about maybe some new locations where you're going to be able to find Press Box moving forward. So all that coming. But what day would you say it's going to start making its way around town?
I think, unfortunately, it's going to. You know, the one good news is It's supposed to come Thursday the 16th, which would normally be my day to go out. I like to go out Thursday to get my credential at the Maryland 5-Star, hang out, watch some dressage, do a little window shopping and eat some food out there. And then I don't go Friday, and then I go Saturday. The paper's supposed to come out Thursday. The only good news is the printing company always somehow
gets it
I
to
get
you.
the call the day before.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm 7 o'clock. I'm here at the thing. What's the combination? And so that's
There's a chance.
There's a chance. You're saying there's a chance.
I'm saying there's a chance that might be a little bit earlier for the new print issue of Press Box. All right, very good. Griffin, why don't we go ahead and get a tidbit? Tidbit is brought to you by Project Game Day. As soon as the game ends on Sunday, whatever happens, head over to PressBoxOnline.com/GameDay to hang out with myself, Rita, KZ, maybe, Stetka, maybe, Griffin, maybe, but definitely Tyus Bowser will be with us for sure.
Oh, my God.
Former Ravens linebacker.
That's a guaranteed loss then.
You are very down on Tyus as an analyst.
Not as an analyst. He's jinxed the Ravens.
Okay, not as quality as an
I
analyst.
think he's got a voodoo
because he
doll.
was on the really good. Oh, you think it's post since he's left the Ravens?
Left the Ravens. He's got
been,
voodoo
So maybe they bring him back. That's the only way to
Are you
reverse
familiar
this,
with what was going on last week, Stan?
No.
So there was this internet meme that a lady put out and said, had a witch curse his favorite team. She was talking about her ex.
Okay.
Oh, great.
Turns out the favorite team
I did not see this.
was the Ravens.
Oh, my God.
So then some Ravens fans
I haven't heard this.
went and found their own witches to
Right.
attempt to reverse whatever
And they
this
went after the
hex
Texans?
was. No, just in general. Like, they put on a reverse hex, a reverse curse on this football team that has been cursed by this other witch.
Okay.
And so now there's, like, dueling witchery going on leading up to it.
Well, how does that impact the spread?
I don't know it. Well, last week, clearly they looked like a cursed team. Last week they looked like
They have looked like a cursed team the
the
entire season.
the ex girlfriend's witch was the better of the witches so far. But that's what you're up against is pure sorcery.
Witchcraft, yeah.
And this reminds me, I told the story before, that back in the day when the Orioles couldn't win a game on a Sunday, Drew and I took a poll with our listeners and said, we'll either bring in a priest to bless them or a witch to curse them, whichever one you think we should do. And the dark arts were the winner of that poll. And so I had to go find an actual witch. In 2008, when they couldn't win a game, or maybe 9, whatever year it was, they could not win.
Well, they couldn't
I
win
mean,
a
they
game,
weren't good
period,
in
right?
general,
Yeah.
but no, they legitimately were like 0-14 on
Was
Sundays.
it a good witch or a bad witch?
A bad,
like the wicked witch.
Well, I don't know, but it was a
Why did
witch of the
win?
dark arts.
Why didn't people want to?
It's crazy. We put it
baptism.
all week long. We said,
That's the type of people that listen to that.
yeah.
Station.
Which way should we go? Should we go priest or should we go witch?
Why not a rabbi? Why
Yeah,
wasn't a
I would have
rabbi
been fine
part
with a
of the-
rabby. I would have been fine with that.
It wasn't part of the.
Well,
it wasn't
because it
an
wasn't.
option.
I think
Saturdays
we
weren't an
said-
option. Well,
to be fair,
Saturdays weren't a problem.
I think
Anti-Semitism
we
thing,
might have
Griffin.
just said man of faith. It might not have been priest specifically. We might
what
just
about a
said
woman?
man of the cloth.
Well, because
all right, enough of you.
the day they were having issues with was Sunday. If it was like a Friday night issue,
Yeah.
maybe then
That's
you
more
bring
up
in
the
rabbi.
alley, right?
Okay.
But it turns out we brought in the witch. We went over. There was a shop over
Was
off.
she hot looking?
She, as I remember, was not terribly attractive. Was not. This isn't one of those Halloween sexy witches.
Was she ugly?
I don't want to say that.
Was she green? You
Let's
know,
not.
was she a,
let's
was she
not.
a
Oh,
wicked-
you think this might be a what's her name?
Yeah, Cynthia
Elphaba.
Alphaba, yeah.
Alphaba.
You're pretty smart, though.
Alphaba.
If you had said she was ugly and she heard that.
Not gonna do that.
Yeah.
Not
Glenn Clark
gonna
Radio's
be
getting
doing
cursed.
How did that
That's
work
not
out?
happening.
Did she?
They didn't win their next Sunday, but they won the following Sunday, and we did get a
Takes a
lot.
while.
We got a lot of feedback that, like, perhaps our witchcraft was the reason the Orioles finally won.
No
It
question.
didn't change anything about the team; they were still terrible, but still got them a win on a Sunday. That's
the
what
next
mattered.
year.
Is it okay if I take your phone?
I don't know why you would do that. PressBoxOnline.com/game day. Immediately following the game, it's brought to you by Game Day Men's Health, as well as 1-800-GAMBLER, HelpMyGamblingProblem.org, the Costas Inn and Live Casino in Hotel Maryland.
This is the second time in Cubs playoff history that they have won 3 games in a postseason period facing elimination in one single postseason. So they won last night, they won the last 2 games at Wrigley Field, and then they won the winner take all game 3 in the wild card series. So that's 3 games facing elimination. The Cubs have won. First time they did this, 2016. They went on to win the World Series.
How about it?
So they got a game 5 tomorrow night, and they'll have to make it 4.
Well, weren't those all in the World? Weren't they down 3-1 in the World Series?
Were they down 3-1 in the World Series? No, I don't think they were down.
Or was it the other way around?
They were up.
Maybe it was the other.
They were up 3-1.
No, they were down in that World Series against the Indians.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hang on a second. Make sure I have this right.
Okay. I guess I could have had that.
By the way,
the Indians at the time now known as the Guardians, had a 3-1 series lead. I was exactly right about this. They won all 3 elimination games in the World Series.
That's impressive.
By the way,
every now and then this guy knows a thing or two.
Did you have one you wanted to get?
I heard something this morning that the Brewers in their history are 3-10 in elimination games. The worst record in baseball history or something.
How about that? I do have something for you, Griffin. I'm so glad that you asked. I'm not sure.
Just had a feeling.
I'm not sure if you know this, but twice in history has a same city with multiple franchises experienced the following 3 things on the same day.
Oh, okay.
Go ahead.
NFL team losing.
Sure.
NHL team losing. And MLB team eliminated from the playoffs.
So Philadelphia is one of those cities?
Philadelphia had it happen last night. The other one occurred. The other one occurred in 1983.
The Orioles.
The Orioles were never eliminated in 83.
Well, the Bullets had already
left,
so it wasn't. We didn't have hockey. Pittsburgh?
Was it the Phillies?
It was also Philadelphia.
Right, Philadelphia.
On October 16th, 1983. The Eagles lost. The Flyers lost.
And the Orioles.
The Phillies lost Game 5 of the World Series.
Wow.
Congrats
to Philly. Congrats to Philly.
It's real tough.
Yeah.
Real tough. And those folks up there are just always so reasonable that I'm sure they're handling it very well.
I'm sure they're
handling it quite well. You have anything else?
I did. I mean, we could save it, or
you tell me.
We did most postseason home runs yesterday. So it made me think about Oriole specific most postseason home runs by an Oriole. There are.
Well, you would think it was something to be modern, but they haven't really played that many postseason games.
The top 6 have all hit 5 or more home runs.
Top 6.
Cal Ripken.
Cal Ripken is not in the top 6.
How about Rafael Palmeiro?
Rafa only had 4.
How about Brooks Robinson?
Brooks Robinson had 5.
How about Boog Powell?
Boog Powell had 6.
Yeah. How about Frank Robinson?
Frank Robinson has the most postseason Orioles home runs, 9 home runs for Frank Robinson.
How about Eddie Murray?
Eddie Murray is up there, 6, tied with Boog.
And how many more do we need?
3.
Three?
2 more.
Manny.
Not Manny.
I'm trying to think of who else hit home runs between those couple of series.
Manny only hit. If any, he hit less than 2.
Who hit home runs? It's not Nate McLouth because they didn't count it.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it could be, but
I'm trying to think of because there was 96, 97. Who else might have hit home runs? I know Eric Davis hit 1. I don't think he hit more than that. Brady.
Yep, Brady Anderson 6, tied with Eddie and Boog for second most.
So we got one more.
One more.
Drawing a blank. Murray. DeCences?
No, not Doug DeCences.
How about Chris Hoyles?
Not Hoyles.
What era should we be thinking?
He was on the 70 team.
The 70 team.
Merv Rettenman.
No.
Davey Johnson.
Not Davey Johnson. Hoyles had 2. Davey Johnson had 2. Dave McNally had 2.
7.
Oh, yeah, famously. In the same game, right? Didn't Dave McNally hit 2? Was that in the same game?
His postseason home run?
I think he hit 2 in the same
yeah,
game.
That's what I thought.
Off of Cincinnati, I think.
That's pretty crazy. He's got more than...
Yeah,
he's
Manny Machado.
Yeah.
He was on the 70 team.
Don Baylor.
Not Don Baylor.
Don Buford.
Don Buford had five
You know
five
what gave
postseason
it
home
away?
runs.
The way
He said not
Don
Baylor. Yeah, exactly right.
Of the modern guys, Nelson Cruz had 2, Ryan Flaherty had 2. That's it. That's it of the modern guys.
Now, do you get this at all? Something came out yesterday. I got to admit, I've never heard of the betting service.
Oh, yeah.
Has Ryan Flaherty as
well,
the
I think
favorite?
that still dates back to when Bob Nightingale reported in, like, June or...
I will eat my hat if Ryan
Well,
Flaherty
I mean, he might very well because I don't know enough to know about what they're thinking. But
I very much agree with Gregg Olson. They need a experienced guy.
They can't hire. If they're going to hire a first-time guy, then they should hire Mansolino. You know,
there's an argument for that. 100%.
You know who would be an interesting first-time guy, who I think
Stan
would
Charles.
Be, I think would be no. I think he'd be very similar
submarine?
to like Stephen Vogt.
Yeah,
would be Justin Turner. I think he'd make a really good manager.
Probably would.
The place where it all started.
Yeah, right. Probably would be the case.
I might call Mike Elias.
Just say, hey, look, listen,
Mike,
listen.
I know we, disagree on certain things, but
hey, everything you need to know about high school sports you can find at countysports.zone. Countysports.zone, proudly sponsored by your local Toyota dealer and buyatoyota.com. Busy weekend tubular-wise. Let's try to touch on as much as we can. As you mentioned, tonight, Game 5 between the Tigers and Mariners at 8:08 on Fox. Tarek Skubal and George Kirby, the pitching matchup there. But, of course, you'll be busy watching Stevenson take on Kings College tonight.
The Monarchs?
Yes, they are. Look at you. GoMaxSports.tv. That's at 7 with myself and Gary Stein.
Whoa.
Is my color analyst.
Are you guys going to come to blows at some point in the booth?
No, I don't know. You think this is like
I don't know.
Like a radio station turf war?
Sure, yeah, something like that.
Something
Or,
like
you're going to say they should have gone for it on 4th down, and Gary's going to be like, no, punting's the right thing to do, and then it's boom.
Also, Game 4 of the WNBA Finals is tonight at 8 on ESPN.
They'll do it.
Hope for the best.
Yeah.
Tomorrow, Big Ten Network, Nebraska, Maryland, 3:30, ESPN2, Navy Temple at 4, Monumental and Flow Sports from Monmouth and Towson at 2, Morgan's at home, 1 o'clock against Virginia University of Lynchburg on ESPN+. What are they, huh? What are they?
The Hornets, right?
And that's Lynchburg University. This is Virginia University of Lynchburg. It's
the Wildcats.
The Dragons. Also tomorrow, Hopkins is at home at noon against Carnegie Mellon. Tomorrow is Maryland Million Day.
What's Carnegie Mellon?
I got it. I got it on the rebound. Fox Sports 2 for the Maryland Million Day. The Maryland Million Stakes from Laurel Park.
Maryland Million is tomorrow?
Tomorrow.
What is Carnegie Mellon?
You don't know Carnegie Mellon? I almost did it again. Did you hear that?
Like the mascot.
Oh, I have no idea. They're like the Tartans or the something like that. The Tarlins, maybe something along those lines is what Carnegie Mellon is.
Tartans.
Tartans. Yeah, Tomorrow night, Cubs Brewers Game 5 at 8:08 on TBS. Sunday. Another London game, NFL Network for Broncos Jets at 9:30 a.m. Of course, Ravens hosting the Rams 1 o'clock on Fox. Fox is where you find that with their A-team on the call. So that's, of course, Kevin Burkhardt, Tom Brady, Aaron Andrews, and Tom Rinaldi doing that game. Then Sunday night, Fox will have Game 1 of the ALCS, somebody against the Blue Jays at 8:03. CBS on Sunday has Browns Steelers at 1, Bengals Packers at 4:25. That really is what they're giving. They got to switch that game. I'll double check on that, see if they haven't already.
No, I think that's.
And Lions Chiefs 8:20 on NBC, and of course, if there is a Game 5 in the WNBA Finals, it'd be Sunday afternoon at 3 on ABC. Non-sports.
There's a lot as well. How to Train Your Dragon is streaming now.
Thank God.
On Peacock.
Thank God.
So
I've been waiting for that.
Yeah. My Father, the BTK Killer. There's a documentary on Netflix.
I don't even know what those words mean.
BTK Killer.
I don't.
Apparently, you haven't heard of him?
No.
I mean, I hadn't heard of him either, but apparently
if
it's
it's
a serial killer.
I might need to know.
Yeah, and she's the daughter of the BTK killer, and she tells her story, her side of things. Apple TV has this show.
Has she done anything interesting, or
I mean,
it's just being the daughter of the?
Yeah, just being the daughter of a notorious serial killer. So tough
It's
cards
a tough
dealt
gig.
there.
I don't disagree with that.
The Last Frontier. This looks really cool on Apple TV Plus. So a U.S. Marshal, Jason Clark. He has to. So there was a plane crash.
Did I know Jason Clark for some reason?
He was in Dawn of the, or he was in some of the Planet of the Apes movies, like the recent ones.
All right.
So this show sounds right up Stan's alley. So a plane crashes in the Alaskan wilderness, and it was transporting a bunch of convicts, and they all escape
This
out of the
looks
plane.
kinda interesting,
You have
yeah.
seen this one? Yeah.
I've seen a promo for
Yeah,
it.
it looks very cool.
What's
There's,
it called?
The Last Frontier.
Ooh.
Yeah, and we get a snowmobile chase and everything. It looks
Oh,
kind
my
of sick.
goodness, yeah.
If anyone has the time for it, I'm not sure. The Woman in Cabin 10 Netflix movie.
That looks pretty.
Keira Knightley. Yeah, she's on a boat. She's on a yacht with, and she's like a journalist, like covering this, like a bunch of rich folks on a boat for some reason. I don't know. It's Guy Pearce, Hannah Waddingham. It looks
okay.
looks
I'm
very
listening.
good.
Is that
yeah,
starting today?
She's quite
yes.
fetching.
It's a movie. So
I might climb into bed and watch that.
All
with
right.
the wife.
There you
the
go.
Woman in Cabin 10.
Woman in Cabin 10.
The John Candy documentary.
Oh, I'm
That
definitely.
looks good.
Yeah, that will. I will spend time with.
Have
the
you
John
seen the
Candy.
Charlie Sheen documentary?
I have not watched it.
It's great.
All right.
Really great.
I'm gonna put the John Candy one ahead of that one, but I do need to watch it at some
And
point.
then on Sunday night.
Oh right, yeah, this starts this week.
Yeah, I didn't even know until this week.
I
didn't know
started
this was
seeing
coming.
some trailers,
Yeah, the
yeah.
Chair Company is a new Tim Robinson.
And it's getting the
show.
10 o'clock slot on
It is,
HBO.
yes.
So
So it'll go
hour-long
Task.
show?
I think it'll be like 30, 40 minutes, something like that. Yeah. The Chair Company. So we'll see what this is about.
Thank you for calling National Business Solutions, the #1 destination for office furniture.
I witnessed a problem.
I'm very sorry to hear that, sir. What was the problem?
It's a big problem.
Ron, we're so proud of you.
Please put your hands together for your project head, Ron Trosper. Badass.com.
We all know it hasn't been easy for you.
There is a massive problem that could cause mass casualties.
No matter what has come at you, you bounce back.
Bring them up to see unit. Sound serious.
Don't wait for me at the bathroom.
I vouched for you to the board against all their concerns.
What the hell is this place?
Don't fuck me.
You can rely on me.
Fuck you! Fuck you!
I got distracted. Hey! No more distractions, okay? I'm right about a lot of things that people have.
So, yeah.
Look,
I mean, it's Tim Robinson.
Obviously, I'm interested. There's sometimes a line between hilarious Tim Robinson and just weird Tim Robinson.
Well, that's right, because you're not a Nathan Fielder guy, so you're also
definitely not a Nathan Fielder guy.
I mean, it's definitely different. They're not the same.
Yeah,
but
they're not the same. But like that movie this summer with Paul Rudd, like
Friendship.
It was kind of funny.
It was,
but it was kind of funny. It wasn't hilarious. It was kind of
hilarious. There was you're belting laughing.
All right.
By the
Me
way,
slapping.
I think we need to send out our wishes for a speedy recovery to Gene Simmons.
Oh, I did.
Yeah,
I
he
did
had
see
a
something about that actually.
Car crash.
Yeah.
Passed out at the wheel.
Yeah.
And it doesn't sound like it was like he was drunk.
No.
Sounds like
they
he
just
passed
yeah,
out.
correct.
He
Like
had
a
a parked
medical
car
event,
on
yeah.
the side of the highway in Malibu.
Jeez. Sister Jean passed away.
Yeah, that's correct.
Very sad.
All right.
Do you know that Gene Simmons? You know who he's married to? Shannon
well,
Tweed.
But I think they weren't. They never actually got married. They've just been like.
Well, there's
says
actual
wife.
fitting
All
of their
right.
wedding.
Oh, okay.
But did you know that they met? She was Hugh Hefner's girlfriend.
Of course. That's very normal stuff. Yeah. Very normal stuff. All right. Everything else you can find at GlennClarkRadio.com. Tubular was also brought to you by Live Casino and Hotel. As always, the best place to hang out for all the games is Inside Sports and Social at Live Casino and Hotel. Stan, back in action on Monday.
Yep.
Appreciate you as always.
All right.
Thanks also today to DeMarco Farr. Thanks to Gregg Olson. And thanks to Blake Corum, who you're about to hear from. We'll get it up in the greatest hits section of the
Amy Poehler's doing SNL.
tab at GlennClarkRadio.com. With Role Model. is the
Role
musical.
Model, yeah.
And our
of course,
picks
we all know
are
Role
up,
Model.
right?
That's correct. Picks
Our
can be
picks
found
are
there.
Oh,
as
maybe
well.
there'll be an announcement on Seth Meyers. Sean Casey and Mark DeRosa are going to be on Seth Meyers tonight. So maybe DeRosa will say,
Casey,
I'm managing
is Gary
the Orioles.
Stein with them? With Sean Casey?
Different, I think, the baseball.
Oh.
Sean Casey. What he's doing on Seth Meyers, I'm not sure.
There's
I guess just
playoffs, I
talking
guess.
playoffs,
Yeah.
All right, very good.
Or Mark's going to say, I'm going to be managing this
the
team.
Orioles. That's what's going to happen. All right, thanks everybody at Pressbox, all of our great sponsors and partners, including Game Day Men's Health, as well as CountySports.zone, your local Toyota dealer, buyatoyota.com, 1-800-GAMBLER, helpmygamblingproblem.org, Costas Inn, Maryland 5-Star, Nick's Fish House, and more. Thanks to Stan. Thanks to Griffin at
You're welcome.
Griffin_Bass. Or is that it, right?
I think so.
Why did that blank for me? I don't know.
I think I'm like Griffin Dopass on Instagram.
At Glenn Clark Radio for us on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. See you for game day on Sunday. Have a great weekend.
By the way, DeMarco Farr.
Yeah.
Related to Mel Farr?
Don't think so.
Okay.
Don't think so. Go Ravens, go Maryland, Navy, Towson, Morgan, everybody. Duke sucks. We wrap up today's show. Had to do this a little bit earlier. Rams running back, St. Francis alum, Blake Corum, right here on GCR. Glad we set that up so brilliantly. Glad that's how that went. Really worked out flawlessly with everything. You got anything else, Stan? You prepare anything else for the end of the program?
Nothing.
No.
Nothing. Do you need me to?
I don't know. I have no idea. We
should be good to go.
Yeah.
Who are we about to hear from, Glenn?
We're going to hear from Blake Corum.
Oh, my God.
Of course, Ravens-Rams coming up Sunday here in Baltimore. And our next guest, who's not originally from here, but we claim him nonetheless, as he is the pride of St. Francis. He gets to spend a whole week back this way as the Rams are coming in not only to play the game, but then they're going to be hanging out for a week before they head overseas. He is Rams running back and former St. Francis Panther. Blake Corum is back with us now here on GCR. Blake, it's Glenn. It's great to see you, man. Thank you for taking the time for us.
Nah, no problem, man. I'm glad we're able to talk.
Dude, how excited were you, right? Like when you found out that you guys are going to be able to spend a week out this way. I know it's still not home. Like I know there's probably challenges that come with that, but not far from where your family is in Northern Virginia and everybody you know around here. Like how fired up were you when you got the word like, hey, we're going out there for a week?
Yeah, I mean, it couldn't have lined any better, right? I mean, out of all places, we're staying in Baltimore for a week. I'm able to see, my family. I'm gonna shoot over to St. Francis one of the days. It's awesome, man. Being back in the city. No, it's gonna be a good time.
I've done a lot of work with St. Francis over the years. Messiah hasn't hit you up to like take the whole team to dinner or anything like that yet, has he?
Nah, not yet, not yet. Maybe he's waiting until I get there.
What about, okay, so from the time that you spent here, what's something that you're most looking forward to doing specifically while you're here in Baltimore?
Well, obviously winning.
But that's the right answer.
Other than that, seeing my family. I have a lot of family coming to the game. Being able to go out to dinner with them. So I would say that's what I'm most excited about.
Did you ever go to an Orioles game when you lived here, Blake? Did you ever
when I lived there during high school? No.
Okay.
But when I was younger, we might have went to like the aquarium.
Okay.
My family and I.
Okay.
And then we shot over to an Orioles game when I was younger.
Okay. This is really kind of crazy. I don't know if you know
I
this.
played baseball growing up.
Oh, that's
so
cool.
I played at like Cal Ripken, and they have I believe the Orioles Stadium is one of the stadiums at Cal Ripken. I played at the Cal Ripken, and was it Maryland?
In Aberdeen,
in Aberdeen, and then the one in Myrtle Beach.
Oh, that's cool, man.
So, they had the Green Monster, they had the Orioles, but I've only been to Orioles game once.
Okay, so I don't know if you know this, but you guys are going to be practicing at Camden Yards, the baseball stadium next week. No one's ever played football there before. Like, you're actually kind of making it like one of the most historic baseball stadiums there is. You're kind of making history. There's never been a football field put down at Camden Yards before, so you guys are getting to do something no one's ever done, which I actually think is really cool.
No, that is, being the first to do something, that's always awesome. It's going to be a good time, man.
That's awesome, man. Blake, again, happy for your success. I wonder, for you, as you've moved into this role, sort of being the number 2 guy in LA, what is it, how difficult is it to be a backup running back in the NFL, right? Like, how tough is it to not know, hey, this week I'm going to get this number of carries or this number of targets or play this number of snaps? What does it require of you to be your best when you don't know exactly what the role might look like week to week?
Just always staying ready, I feel like I've stayed ready my whole life for, every opportunity I get, just to take advantage of, and just being the best version of myself, whether I'm in or out. If I'm out, helping my teammates, cheering them on, whatever I can do to help the team win. When I'm in, taking care of the fundamentals, and just going to play fast and having fun. So, being, RB2, there's a lot of good that comes with that. And it's all about perspective at the end of the day, right? When you put things into perspective, so just staying ready, for each and every opportunity, controlling what you can. And, we have an amazing, backfield. And so, I'm enjoying it, man. Yeah.
When things don't go your way, right? Like, and I know obviously it was the whole team the last time out, but I know it was a tough play in there for you as well. How do you handle that? How do you not allow yourself to, dwell on it and to learn from it and to be better the next time you're out there?
Yeah, it's adversity, man. I've played every sport. I wrestled for 8, 9 years.
Did
I
you
didn't win
wrestle
them
at St.
all.
Francis?
So when I was there, St. Francis didn't have
That's what I thought. That's what I thought.
I wrestled at Pilates.
Okay.
When I was at Pilates my freshman and sophomore year. I went to national preps. But I've played a lot of sports, right? So I wrestled, and that's a one-on-one sport, and I've lost, right? You hit a little adversity. What are you gonna do? Just quit, And so speaking of last game, obviously fumbled, dropped the ball. But when you look at it, it's all things you can fix. And so when you put it into that perspective, it's like, okay, let me just focus in. Let me lock into those small details, things I've been doing since the age of 6, And so it's just adversity at the end of the day, and you have to really love it. You have to buy into just that adversity. You can't be scared of it. You have to face it, one-on-one, knowing that because of this adversity, I'm going to get stronger. Because of the adversity, the team's going to get stronger. You know what I'm saying? And so, that's the way I look at it. When you go through challenging times, it's just like, thank you, instead of, running from it or why me. All right, thank you. Let me fight through this. And then and the other side, the outcome is going to be better, just because I went through something.
Blake Corum from the Rams, the pride of St. Francis, with us on GCR. Blake, was there a moment in your life that kicked in, it hit for you? Was there something that you went through or a lesson that you learned from someone that helped shape that perspective that you now have as a professional?
Yeah, I mean, growing up, my dad being a blue collar worker, having his own business, things always didn't go right. And he faced a lot of adversity, and I'm pretty sure, talking to him now, I know there was times like, he didn't want to keep going, right? Maybe some of his guys didn't show up. He was low on staff, I remember he would wake up, 4 a.m, not get home till, the sun was down. And,
wow.
I'm pretty sure, he didn't want to do that every day, especially then, you have some clients that were calling and complaining and this and that, right? And, he had no other choice but to keep going, for the family. And so when I think about my dad, I think about a guy that, has gone through many trials and tribulations, a lot of adversity, but, never folded, always, faced it, up front, never ran from it. And he's become a better man, better businessman, better father, leader, because of all of that. So, when you talk about a game I've been playing since the age of 6.
Tails. Yeah.
I mean, come on.
Yeah,
what I'm
I
saying?
get that.
Like, yeah, there's going to be adversity, but when you put it into perspective, there's a lot of bigger things going on. But for me, football, I love it so much, and so you want to get better, and because of the last game, I'm better for that, and now I've had a good weeks of work. What I'm saying? The team has had a great weeks of work, and we're going to be able to come out Sunday and prove that.
What you just said there, because we are dumb guys that do this for a living, right? Like, we are just idiots that they give us microphones and we just say whatever. And one of the dumb things we say is, boy, I'm worried about a Rams team that we know is really good coming off a loss and what that does to them. And it's sort of dumb because inherently you guys want to win every game, right? Like, if you were coming off a win, you were going to want to work your ass off to win the next one. But what does that do when you suffer a heartbreaking loss the way that you guys did as a team? Does it lead to a different kind of preparation, a different kind of outlook during the week leading up to a game?
I think it just allows you to refine your focus. You know what I'm saying? The goal is still the goal. and that's to win every game. So I wouldn't say it changes our perspective on that. I think it just allows you to refocus, and work on the things you need to work on so you don't beat yourself or so you don't make the same mistake, right? Because mistakes are bound to happen. Mistakes are going to happen every game. Flags are going to get thrown and whatnot, right? But it's how can I not make that same mistake again to put my team in the best position possible? So you don't change much, right? It's not like we're all hoorah, hoorah, we're changing everything. No, we're a good team. It's just little things here and there that we need to fix so we don't bite ourselves in the foot and we can play as one and play a complete game. And like you said, every team wants to win every game. You know what I'm saying? So it's not like one week, we're playing this team and we're going to practice super hard, and the next week playing this team, we're going to back off. No, we're always practicing hard. We're always staying steady, and we're treating each team, as its own. We're not looking too far ahead, but it's just allows us to, really focus and lock in on the things we need to improve ourselves.
With that in mind, I imagine you guys are not like talking at all about everybody, back here. All we're talking about is who's not out there for the Ravens right now. I imagine y'all aren't getting caught up in any of the rat poison about who's playing and who isn't playing for the Ravens this week.
No, not at all. We just know we're going to play a game.
I understand that. That's what you got to do. It's nameless, faceless. I understand how this works. Just go in. There's obviously the Ravens. It's not quite as many as there have been over the years. You did play with the Jabbo at one point, right?
I did. I played with the Jabbo, yeah.
So if he gets a lick on you, will there be any chatting afterwards on Sunday? What's that relationship like?
Maybe after the game. Jabbo has always been kind of a quiet guy.
Yeah, that's fair.
Kind of like myself,
I was gonna say you're not really a big trash talker, right?
Nah, I'm not, man. I like saving that energy, Like,
are you
really? I really had to be in the moment. You had to really say something for me to even say anything. But, I'm more so just letting my plan do the talking.
I appreciate that. Biff, right? Getting the opportunity the last few weeks, right? And has the spotlight on him. And, every time he's in this spot, I feel like the country is reminded of just how unique of a character Biff really is.
Yeah, he's one of a kind, man.
Oh, and I imagine for you, you're not I feel like people are always somehow surprised that here he is coaching a Big Ten team and winning games. I imagine for you, you don't I think people don't realize because he's such a character, what a good coach he really is.
He's a good coach, but he's an even better leader. And I think that's what you saw at St. Francis, right? How he led him and Coach Masai both, in the whole coaching staff, but. How you led a team that in a school, right, that didn't have much.
Yep.
They didn't have much at all, and got kicked out of MI.
Yeah, I was gonna say through a time of tribulation, right?
Yeah, and then having to play a national schedule and this and that. But we did what we had to do. But that goes to speak about who he is, and I got to see him actually last weekend. But the same dude, good dude, man, loves ball. And he's a character. That's what you love about him.
We always hate when he ends up back at Michigan because it means there's going to be more St. Francis kids going that way. And that's tough for those of us back here that would like to see a couple more end up at Maryland. We are really crossing our fingers about Zion. Come on, man.
Right.
We got to just get you on campus somehow, some way. That's what we're worried about. Blake Corum, man, it's awesome to see you and the success you're having. And it's going to be really cool. You know how this goes, right? We're rooting for you. You understand that. Just not
that.
On Sunday. That's the way that it works. Every other game you play, we want to see you run for 300 yards. But on Sunday, it's just a different feeling.
I understand.
At Blake_Corum on Twitter, right?
Yeah.
And then what about on Instagram?
Blake_Corum 24.
Very cool. Blake, continue blessings and health and success to you, brother. And enjoy
I appreciate that.
Enjoy your week back here in town, man. It's going to be